How to say Project Sparrow. I've been thinking about that a lot recently. I tried writing a script multiple times for this video, but I couldn't. So I'm just gonna just turn on my mic and I'm just gonna start talking. This is just how I feel about the current state of the game and what I think needs to be changed. For the continued success of the game. And yeah. First things first, I think the game has a fundamental problem where the skill ceiling is all based around movement. But the movement's not rewarding enough within the game. I've played an extensive amount of scrims within the game against good players and very good aimers. And they are able to beat other teams with having zero movement and a lack of positioning and whatnot. And that's not a slag on them whatsoever. I just mean that it is a little frustrating. I think one of the big problems, or what's causing that problem, is mostly the map design, because a lot of the maps were originally made and built around a different style of gameplay. Like the gameplay was not advanced at the time. A lot of the movement techs weren't a thing, so that the maps weren't made in mind with that, which is fine. But that is one thing that needs to be changed. I think that they need to make movement, or DIDS needs to make movement more rewarding within the game, and I think you could do that by putting more movement-based maps and whatnot. And taking out some maps as well. I think that Arena is just a very I think that the game has gameplay has advanced past the skill ceiling on that map, because it's a solved map. It's really simple to play. It's not a fun map. There's not much variety. It's just a very boring and frustrating map to play, to be honest. I think Cliffside's is a good example of a movement-based map. I think it's the closest thing we have to a perfect movement-based map, which it isn't, but it is the closest. And that map is definitely my favorite and the most fun to play on for sure. And I feel like a lot of people would agree with me on that one. Anyway, that's what I think about the maps and why movement's not rewarding enough. Another thing is, I think the util and arrows need to be changed up, and I'm not just talking balance changes. I just mean fundamentally, like a fire arrow. I just don't like the idea of having a arrow within the game, or a way of hitting a player or doing damage, AOE damage. I just don't like it in this game. I think it's got very precise gameplay, and to just have an AOE damage, it just feels sloppy, and it doesn't feel right. As well as you can shoot through walls and whatnot. And I'm not saying fire arrows are OP, because I don't think they're OP whatsoever. But I do think that it's just not very fun nor competitive. Not that it's overpowered, but that's just what I think about it. I think the smoke arrows are okay. I don't have any problems with them, to be honest. I think that the outline of players shouldn't be visible within smoke, because currently smoke should not be used as a getaway, which is what you well, at least I think of first when you say a smoke arrow. But it's usually used to push people out of cover or whatnot, because they have no line of sight, and it's basically like a flashbang if it's right on you. So I don't think the smoke. That's just what I think of the smoke arrows. The shadow arrow currently is by far the like just leagues above the rest. It's just so good. I mean, not only I mean it's basically it's free. It's the way I look at it is kind of a bailout, right? You can shoot it straight up in the air, right, or shoot it behind you or whatnot, and then you dive bomb, right? And you can do this with your teammates too if you're playing twos, and you dive bomb it, and you hit them really hard because you're zooming, and then you immediately hit that TP arrow, and you still have that continued momentum, and I just think that's ridiculously strong. As well as it's just used to get out of really bad positions. You know, you can really mess up, lose momentum, whatnot, right? Just be in a really shitty spot. But you can, if you have that shadow arrow up, it's fine. Like it's you're completely good. And then with util, I think, like I said, smoke bombs. Smoke bombs, I think, are just not even an option. I mean, like I said, it's a flashbang on yourself, and they can still see you through it. I think the only way I've seen people use smokes like effectively, like in any capacity, is just running at somebody and then hitting the smoke and then just like sliding out of the smoke and maybe getting the jump on them. You know, like Stewie 2K in CS:GO, like that type of thing. The Stewie smokes. The throwing knife is just really underwhelming as well. It's just not worth. You might as well just bow spam. It's just not that good. You know, I'm not saying it should be. I don't know how they buff it. I mean, at max damage it hits for 165, I believe, and then 75 for a body shot, and it's very fast, right, and very precise if you're up close. But I still think at that point you should just bow spam because it's basically the same thing. And that's just taking up a util spot. And then you have satchels, and satchels are by far the the best util in the game. You can use it for like movement. It's basically a free dash. If you mess up and you run out of momentum and you're at a dead stop, you can use that. And your dash is on a cooldown. You can use that satchel or whatnot, right? It's just a free dash, and you get 2 of them, as well as you can get out of spots, get up, use it on a rollout, hit a rollout that's not possible without satchels, or just makes it easier that way. And I don't think they should change satchels as is. Like I think they're really fun to use and whatnot. I just think that the other util options need to be looked at, because as of now, like running shadow arrow and satchels is just standard. Like it's too good. Like the other options they just seem silly in comparison. As well as and that's also in scrims as well. I mean, everybody ran that pretty much. So now they have in the first official tournament, or not the first official tournament, but like the biggest tournament, and then the subsequent scrims, it's been one arrow. Like your team can only have one util and one arrow. So that kind of forces. I don't know how other people do it, but running shadow and satchels gives you so much potential movement, and to just have that split up against 2 teammates, I don't like it. I don't know. It just makes the game less interesting. Using smokes and a throwing knife is just trash. So I would probably, I don't hate the arrow idea, because the double, like I said, the double dive, right? Like dive bombing and using that as a bailout and running into them, like off rip on like arena or something, is really strong. I don't think it's a great solution to the problem, but it's temporary, and I'm okay with that. But like I said, the util, I definitely shouldn't think it shouldn't be limited to one person, like one util to one person, or I don't know how I'd word it, but you get what I'm saying. Like your 2 teammates, only one person can use satchels, the other person has to choose one of the other 2 options. So I think that should be changed. Um, the MMR system, as a quote unquote rank system, it completely fails. It truly does mean nothing in this game, right? It's just the MMR system is just it's. I mean, there's no point in it even being there, to be honest. And I get like having a ranked system in a game with a small player base is kind of like not exactly super feasible, but as of right now, it's. I mean, it might as well just not be in the game. So I think there definitely should be another ranking system like of any kind. I don't have any good suggestions for that one, so but I just wanted to bring that up. Um, and another problem I feel personally, I don't know what Did's plans are for the long continued longevity of the game, but having played the game since like maybe 3 or 4 days after the release, the official release. I did not play the alpha. Um, and having there's been almost not almost I'm genuinely like zero content brought into the game. Maybe some minor bug fixes and whatnot. I think that's the only content that's been not content. I mean only changes to the game so far. I believe Diz is trying to port the game to Unreal Engine 5. Uh, he's doing that solo as well from what I understand. And I'm not gonna lie, like you can see the player base drops off. Everyone that I've been playing with for all this time, right, since the game came out, they're kind of losing interest in the game as well. And I have like I think 200 something hours in the game, right? And I've really enjoyed it. A lot of my friends have a similar amount of playtime, and there's just not a lot of content, and that's with me taking the game, trying to play competitively because I just enjoy that. I enjoy like competitive in most games. And then another thing is, I just want to bring this up. I do think that it's kind of a failure on Diz's part, where the majority of like the most active / passionate members in the community are in the Scrim score, and he won't advertise the Scrim server on the main Discord because it's not officially like it's not ran by him or whatnot, right? Which I think is just, I mean, in a game this small, I think that's kind of lame. And it's not like it's just unmoderated. There's moderators in the Scrim server, and it's kept in a good place. It's not like overly toxic or anything. So I think he should advertise that. I think that's just kind of shitty.
No, it's different from any of the records you've ever heard before. Totally new.
Yeah, so those are kind of the problems I just want to talk about. I'm not sure. Yeah, so that's kind of just what I wanted to talk about today. I don't think I can't remember what I put the title is. I think it's gonna be like something like how to save Project Sparrow, whatnot, and I don't feel like I've done a great job like bringing up suggestions on how to fix it, because I'm not sure. I'm not a game developer. Only brought up a couple, but I understand maybe he wants to get the game into Unreal Engine 5 before and add more content to the game before he pushes marketing for it. But from my experience, when you have a game like this, if that small community dies, it's usually over, and not many developers, especially a solo developer, because I think that would definitely play. That put a lot of stress on your mental, and it would really hurt your motivation to work on the game if the game got so small. and lost his player base. I know that happened to another game, Sector's Edge, that I played. So yeah, no, and I also want to say I think Dids has a really good game. I love Project Sparrow. I think it's got it can have a really great future, and I want the game to do as well as possible. That's no hate to Dids or anything. I think just some of my concerns, you know. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end it. I was just kind of freeballing that whole video. Sorry, I kind of just stammer a lot and whatnot, 'cause it's just, you know, just kind of talking. So I think that's all. Thanks for listening. Put any comments on if you think I'm wrong or something. Just call me an idiot. I don't know. Alright, peace.